I saw recently that you wrote a piece for the New Statesman about the Barbie film, and it was called "Barbie Can't Handle the Truth." I saw that film recently.
That's their title.
I thought as much.
Choose the title.
I thought as much. It would be theirs.
Did you guess, since you're not an idiot, sorry to interrupting you, did you guess another thing? While I wrote that, I haven't seen either Oppenheimer or Barbie.
So, what was it that prompted you to write an essay? I know that the essay only sort of mentions Barbie in one of the paragraphs and makes comparisons to other films of late. But how do you feel the confidence to write about a film that you haven't seen in such a way?
I played it very safe, maybe even too safe. The points that I make are so general. But what interested me in Barbie is, and it's way too general point to make, but I think it's important. People, usually traditional Marxists or other leftists, like to point out how all these fantasy worlds, like the sexless Barbie world, not our ordinary world, are just something that are ideological distortion, reflection, ideal, imagined supplement to our actual world. What interests me, and this is one thing that I think it may be still alive, and as you maybe know, very critical towards much of Marxism. But this notion, which is much more refined in Marx, of commodity fetishism, which is what? Which is not just an illusion, which is the effect of real contradictions, it mystifies them, but it's an illusion which is written into the texture of our reality itself, in the sense of you take this illusion away and our real life, not reality, something remains, but our real social life disintegrates. That's what fascinates me. Illusions which are not simply illusions, which you can get rid of and then stare heroically into the eyes of actual life, So that aspect interests me. And you know who was the first one to show me this path? You will not believe it. Not some big idealist, but none other than Jeremiah Bentham, the great utilitarian. He proposed he should be reread today, I think. He was definitely not an idiot, Bentham, because many continental so-called philosophers thought he was simply a utilitarian idiot and so on. No, in his theory of fictions, he makes this point hundreds of years ago very clearly, that although in principle we should distinguish between fictions and reality, but fictions already structure what we experience as reality. So his whole work is again this simplistic notion that it's truly courageous to confront reality without fictions and so on and so on and so on. But what really interests me, why I risk that bluff about those two movies, this may be for our viewers more interesting, is that today I noticed that we have a whole series of movies which deal with some kind of passage from living in an imagined world to so-called reality.
Yes.
And Barbie is an obvious case here. It's even now, after seeing the movie, but seeing it after I wrote about it.
Oh, so you have now seen Barbie?
But now a pirate copy at my home and so on. And, it's a pretty complex movie because it's neither reality versus fiction and so on. It's a much more complex relationship between the two poles. What I like is how, although our lives are basically sexualized, why we then have this imagined world of Barbie land as asexualized, and I think that this is a crucial point, which can be even accounted for in Freudian terms. The role of fiction in reality, even sexual reality. Maybe you know the story that I repeat so much, I'm already tired of it. I read a couple of years ago now, I already think. Eve Wiseman, a commentator for Guardian, reports in one of her comments of a special terrifying thing that happened to her. She was watching, and that's not an ironic remark. I like to read this there, the most depressive. Not hardcore pornography, but hardcore movies shot a step back, if I may put it like this, about how they shoot hardcore pornography.
Right.
It's the most depressive experience you can imagine. And okay, the camera is behind the hardcore camera, showing the entire scene, and you have there an actor doing it to the lady on the bed, and in the middle of doing it, he steps back and he says, "Sorry, I'm losing erection. Let's stop. Can somebody pass me my iPhone so that I go quickly on Pornhub to get excited again?" Now, this is an absurd scene from the common sense because, my God, we usually dream about doing it. And he has there a woman in front of him, naked, everything. No, you need fiction, And I think this is the deep lesson of psychoanalysis. It's not that everything is sexualized in this stupid sense. Whatever you are doing, you are secretly doing about for or dreaming about sexuality. No, Freud's question is, but what are you dreaming, fantasizing when you are doing it, the sexual act? Freud is here, I think, a great pessimist. His point is that even in sexuality, you are never alone without fantasies. It's not that I'm with my lover or lovers alone and we are fully immersed in it, we are just doing it. No. Even in direct contact with another's body, fantasy is always at work. And I think this doesn't only hold for children, for so-called infantile sexuality, where you don't know what happens in sexuality, you dream about it. No, it happens even in, and especially in real sex. Freud's message, again, is here much more refined. It's not that, but when you become an adult, you no longer need this stupid, infantile, empirically wrong fantasies. You are simply able to do it. No, a new versions of infantile sexual dreams remain to the end.
The full conversation that the clip you just watched was taken from is available via the link that's on your screen. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.